Yo, welcome back everybody. I hope you guys are doing well as always. For today's video, I'm going to be showcasing the new Sunboy and Prod Cray one-shot kit called Mirage. If you guys are familiar with the channel, you know that I use a ton of Sunboy's kits already. Anytime he comes out with a new kit, I usually show it on here and we make something crazy with it. So today is going to be no different. So I'm going to be breaking down this beat that I just made, and it's kind of like something that YEAT would maybe get on, like sort of like the lifestyle era of him, that's super like distorted, kind of just like hard hitting drums, just like that kind of beat. And to give you guys a little bit of a preview of what it's going to sound like before we jump into it, I'm going to go ahead and play a little snippet right now. So here's just a little kind of breakdown of what's in the kit. You got these accents, you got arps, basses, guitars, keys, leads, pads, phrases, which are all pretty cool. You got pluck, strings, synths, and textures. And you get a really decent amount in each category. Like there's a ton of stuff in this kit. So yeah, for this first sound, we're using the AP Skeleton Ski from the lead category. This is the pattern that I laid down, and you'll notice that I integrated a lot of these slide notes. Something that's really cool when you use one shots, you can manipulate the actual notes a lot more than using like a VST. So all of these little slides just add a little bit of like pitch bending to the note. And then on that sound, all we have is just a little bit of reverb. So yeah, pretty simple pattern. It's really just this section that repeats a bunch of times. The only thing I did was for this little second part, I just deleted these two bottom notes. So then I just wanted to get kind of like the foundation down. So I added this bass, and it's the wave one shot. And for this one, we're using the D and the D sharp as the root notes. I picked this bass just because it had a lot of high end and mid frequencies. I actually ended up like cutting the low end kind of out of this one and making room for a more sub bass that I'll show you guys later on. This next sound we got is the crash out lead. And as you can see, I utilized more of those glide notes, and this is just kind of like a longer strung out lead pattern. You heard this a lot on like the lifestyle project, where you have these like kind of super dramatic leads with some like heavy glides to them. On this one, again, we just added some extra reverb. Then the next thing I did was just add this kind of little melodic pluck riff. This is the downloading pluck. Then we added in another pluck. This is the essential pluck, and I just kind of added these like stabbing chords to just add a little bit of like rhythm to the melody. Then I wanted to kind of accent the bass line a little bit more, so I added in this extra synth that plays alongside with the bass notes. This is the Riches synth, and on that one, again, I just cut the low end out so it didn't clash with any of the basses, but more just kind of accents like the mid-tones. Then we got probably my favorite part of the beat, which is this little like kind of analog glitchy lead. And this is the Cenobite string. On this one, I added a ton of effects. So this first thing we got is a heavy delay set to 1/8 note. Then we got this EQ that's just cutting the lows out. We got a chorus to kind of widen the sound a little bit. And then what gives it the character is we got this chunky wah guitar preset from Coldfire. and that just kind of gives it like a really harsh analog synthy feel. And then we have another EQ that's just kind of cleaning up the sound more, cutting the lows out and cutting a little bit of those harsh highs off. So it sounds really harsh on its own, but kind of blended in with the melody, it stands out pretty nice. So then, like I mentioned before, we have a more subby bass that just comes in to kind of make up for the lack of the low end from the other basses. And this is the foreshadow bass. And then the last thing I added was this little like ARP accent from the Oneshot kit. This is the Tweaking Badly Help ARP, I guess. This is just what it sounds like. Pretty weird little texture, but it just kind of fit into the melody, added a little bit of like chaos to the background. So yeah, that's it for the entire melody. If we go over to the loop arrangement, you can see I pretty much had most of the sounds playing the whole time. I just kind of alternated between the two standout leads, so they're never playing or like overlapping each other. But everything else just kind of plays steady throughout. Just kind of took away some things here and there. But yeah, just a little preview of what everything sounds like together. So yeah, pretty cool loop. The only things I did, I just kind of put that on its own mixer track, messed around with some EQs to get like just a cleaner sound, cut some harsh things away here and there. The only other thing I noticed was that the low end was kind of wide, so what I did is just added this Maximus plugin and soloed out these lows. So I just listened to like where the frequencies were, and then I basically just kind of centered them a little bit more, or like merged them as the plugin says. So it's just less wide at the low end. So yeah, that's it for the melody sounds. Now we can go over to the drum sounds. So the drum sounds you see here, the names are actually incorrect because I swapped the sounds out after I separated the pattern, so it didn't really change, but I will tell you guys what each sound is before I play it. So we'll start with the hi-hat, and this is the Opium hi-hat from the 2025 Stash Kit, and this just plays in a two-step. I did boost the highs on that a lot to give it that sort of lifestyle mix where like kind of the high end is really harsh and cutting through the mix a lot. Then we added the snare, and this is from an Aiden made drum kit. It's the Tokyo snare. Then we got this sound effect from a Sapture kit. This is the F9 effects. And then we're using the analog kick from my 2025 stash. And then we got this clean open hat, again from the stash kit. And then the only other thing we did was just add an 808, and this is the Gravity 808, again from the stash kit. I like that one because it had a lot of like mid tones to it, wasn't super subby, and I think it just mixed well with the punch of the kick. So yeah, that's everything for the drums and the sample. The only other things, the arrangement, I kept everything pretty normal. The only thing you can see here is that I left the intro as like just the sub bass and then the kick playing, so you get a different feel when like the 808 comes in for the second half of the hook and then the verses. And then it just switches back into that sub bass and kick. And that was like really the only thing that I changed up, other than just kind of adding that open hat at like every other 8 bars. Same as usual on my master channel, I don't have anything except for a soft clipper with the stock settings. And then I just did a very, very slight boost to the overall high ends on the master. Just gives it a little bit more crisp and kind of that lifestyle mix that I was talking about before. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys learned something as always. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.